Intro music.
A star for the ages for Tony Gwynn, number 3,000.
They have acquired Eric Johnson and Fernando Tatis Jr. from the White Sox in exchange for James Shield.
Welcome to Slam Diego!
My name is James,
My name is Joey.
and this is the Brothers Padre.
James.
Whoa, wait, one thing.
Uh-oh, what?
Happy Bobby Bonilla Day.
It is a sacred holiday in our podcast. I don't know if we ever explained our love of Bobby Bonilla.
We have not.
James and I collect Bobby Bonilla cards. Not a joke.
No, we have,
A lot of us.
last count, like 55 of them.
A lot of Bobby Bonilla cards. Probably too many, but we like Bobby Bonilla. For those who are uninitiated, do you want to tell them why?
So, Bobby Bonilla was a power hitter in the 90s.
Good player.
A good player. He was a good player. He's not a Hall of Famer, but he's just one of those guys like
The Hall of Very Good.
Hall of Very Good. And in the 2000, late 90s, he signed a deal with the Mets.
Yep.
And the Mets didn't want to pay him his full contract. They wanted to cut him. And the Mets were getting some financial advice at the time from, what was the name of that guy again?
Bernie Madoff.
Oh, yeah. And children, look him up. He's one of the biggest all-time scumbags and Ponzi schemers. And so,
Right.
because they were getting financial advice from Bernie Madoff, they said, you know what, why don't we just offer him $1 million a year for every year until we pay it off plus interest. So every year on July 1st, the Mets pay out $1 million to Bobby Bonilla until 2035?
2039.
39.
He'll be 72 when he gets his last $1 million check. James, you know what I found out today?
What's that?
It is not his only deferred contract.
Oh, I know. That's why we love him.
The Baltimore Orioles made the same deal. So he gets only $500,000 a year. He's gotten $500,000 a year until from 2004 to 2029. So he's on top of $1 million a year check for not playing. He's given an additional $500,000 check from the Orioles.
So that's why we love him, because he is probably the smartest man ever to play baseball. And I know we said we weren't going to give gifts this year, but I saw this at a store today and I said, Joey, you need this. Happy Bobby Bonilla.
What did he get me? He got me a swag chain keychain.
Yep.
Dude, people are. How did someone create this so quickly?
I don't know. I saw it and I thought, you know what? I know we weren't going to exchange gifts this year, but happy
that's
Bobby
very
Bonilla
nice,
Day.
Jamesy. Well, wow, James. I don't know what to say. This is very fun. It's like I'll put this around my daughter's
I
neck.
was going to say, at the very least, your daughter would like it.
That's awesome, James. Well, thank you, buddy.
All right.
On this precious and sacred by Bonilla Day, James, we are doing the recap episode. We recap the past week. And what was the week of, James?
June 24th.
The week of June 24th. And shall we just, as the kids say, jump into it?
Do kids say that?
No, I think people think kids say that.
Oh, okay.
But we had
He's a dad. He makes dad jokes, apparently.
Friday, June 25th. We welcome the deadly snakes into town, James. You do not touch snakes. You point at them and run away. But not this time. The Padres stomped on them. Padres welcome Arizona Diamondbacks into Petco Park and beat them 11-5 on 13 hits and 1 error. The Diamondbacks had 5 runs on 13 hits upon no errors. This game looked real rough in the third inning. The Padres coming on top with 4 runs in the first, thanks to Pham and Tatis going back to back. And then in the second, Paddock kind of struggled, the up 3 runs. And then Tatis and Cronenworth go back to back in the second. And then Paddock gives up 2 more runs. And it just was like, this is not going to be...
Paddock did not have it.
What?
Paddock did not have it.
Did not have it. The Diamondbacks also wanted to win. You could tell this entire series that
They really want this. This was their 24th consecutive road loss in a row. They set a baseball record. They beat the previous record by 2 games.
Yep.
And they really tried all they could to win. But we have Tatis. And, he hit 3 home runs that day.
Bananas. Absolute bananas.
It was tour de force from the future MVP.
He settled for a 4-for-5 game, James, with 3 home runs.
But the thing is, after the 5th inning, they just stopped scoring.
He had 3 home runs by the 4th inning.
Oh, I know, we did. But after that, the Diamondbacks quit scoring because our bullpen came in and shut them down.
The Tatis had 3 home runs in the 4th inning, and everyone's like, "Oh, he's going to try to get 4." And took home run swings, just didn't get the 4th. But it won't be his last 3 home run game, and probably there will be a 4 home run game in his lifetime.
Probably. And again, he still had a 4th hit.
Yep.
It was an RBI single. So, I mean, why wouldn't you take that?
Yep. Yeah, Paddock didn't have his stuff. Gave up tons of hits. The Diamondbacks had 13 hits this game, just the same amount as we did. We just had better situational pitching in big moments. So, you know.
They really, really tried to win, and they did not.
But Tatis' 3 home run game, exciting. It was very cool to see. Watch those highlights. That's definitely, if you see any highlights from this game this week, just watch those.
Yeah, exactly.
Those are the ones you want to watch. James, any other comments before I move on to game 2 of this week? Also, I forgot to mention, of course, that we make predictions. Last week, you predicted 5-1. I predicted 5-1. At the end of the episode, we just find out how close we are.
Yes.
If you,
I said 5-1. We lost a game. We would lose a game to the Reds. You said 5-1. We lose Diamondbacks. Next game.
Game 2, James.
Not that we just teed up something.
That
was about as subtle as a train wreck.
Came to town, and the mean one, the dark one, the meanest man of all the NL West came up to bat. Got a single.
For those that don't know who we're talking about, because Keitel Marte is the Diamondbacks' best hitter. And for his entire career...
recently has been especially bad. And
for at least the last 3 years, he has just owned Padre pitching. And...
I mean, I feel like the first series he was here, it was like he got 30 hits.
Exactly. It was... Yeah. And he got a single, but rounding...
This is his first game back.
First game back from being disabled on the DL for like 20 games.
Yeah.
Single, rounding first, steps on the base wrong, hurts his knee, and leaves the game.
It was a tough watch because you don't like actually watching people play hurt. But it kind of like that vibe. Diamondbacks like, we're not going to lose. Just because they were like hoping for Keitel to be back, and they're like, we're not losing. Because they beat us 10-1.
Yes, and you have never seen an entire team try to win harder than they... I mean... I've seen people win the World Series giving less effort than the Diamondbacks did.
It felt like when the 2017 team with Carlos Asuaje, you know those team. I don't need to name those guys. They're good guys, but they've lost 7 series in a row, and you just tell like we're not losing this game. And they just threw everyone out there. And it kind of felt like that. Those old Padres teams were like, they just decided, Andy Green's team was like, we're not losing this game. We have to win this game. Because Lamet didn't have it, got pulled early. We ended up using 5 pitchers, Lamet, Thompson, Krismet for 3 innings, Nick Ramirez for 3 innings. And it just wasn't good, But the Diamondbacks, broke their curse. No 25th loss in a row.
Yeah, and again, they tried so hard. You have to give it to them. They did everything they could to beat us. And literally by the 7th inning, I think there wasn't a single starter left in our our lineup. We replaced everybody. Tatis, Hosmer, Cronenworth, and Machado all were out of the infield because there were substitutions because they just give them the night off.
Caratini took him time at first base.
Exactly. It was. I'm not going to say we gave it to him, but it was why try to kill ourselves in the last couple innings when we can just rest.
Webster Rivas had a great game though. He went 4 for 3.
He did, yeah.
You gotta give a shout out to that guy. But yeah, we lost. It was bad, but it's baseball, baby. We had 9 hits though, so we had opportunity. We had 1 inning, we had second and third, no outs, and then end up base loaded and no one scored, which is a thing that happens this week. Surprisingly, there's sometimes they do all score and sometimes they don't score.
Yeah,
But yeah, we're leaving lots of men on base, which is kind of good because it means you have always opportunity, but it's also kind of bad because you want those people to score. Shall we move on, James?
Yes, please.
Game number 3 of the homestand. The deadly Diamondbacks coming to town, and we beat them 5-4 on 5 runs, 11 hits, and 1 errors. And the Arizona Diamondbacks had 4 runs on 8 hits upon no errors. James, this was probably too close of a game. We played pretty bad baseball. I feel like there's 2 wins this week that we just played pretty badly, but still won, and this is one of them.
Because we were playing. We are a superior team to both teams. That's the only reason why we won is because even when we're struggling, we're better than them at their best.
Right. Tommy Pham lead off homer with 2 runs in the first. Then we get 2 runs in the first. Diamondbacks get another one. Zach Gallen, the best pitcher currently that's healthy on the Diamondbacks, really did a decent job. 4 between innings pitched, 6 hits, 2 earned runs. Darvish pitched, did very well. 6 innings pitch, of course, 1 earned run. Tim Hill came in, did not have it. Allowed 3 runs in the top of the 7th, and it was kind of a rough inning because the bases were loaded and there was no outs, and it was 2-1 still. And Tim Hill induced a double play ball, and then Tatis gets the double play ball to him, and he throws it to Cronenworth and just throws it completely wide, allowing 2 runs to score. And it was bad.
It was very bad. It because he is so great in pretty much everything else he does.
Right.
You forget that he is only played 170 games in the big leagues.
Yeah.
He is still basically a rookie. And a lot of players struggle with defense, and he needs to get that part of his game in order and practice it. But he's so phenomenal. Everything else, this game, he could have cost us a victory.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, but next half inning, the Diamondbacks bullpen comes out and gives us 3 runs. Tatis gets a double, which allows for the tie and run to happen, and then the Tatis scores also. So Tatis gets just a lead run.
Yes,
but we get score 3 in the top of the bottom of the 7th, and that was good enough for a 5-4 victory, James.
Victories are always better.
Yep. Finish up a 9-1 homestand, James. That is very, very good.
That will play any day of the week.
So happy about that. And I was right. I said we would lose the Diamondbacks because it's hard to keep a bad streak going for so long.
It is. And they tried their hardest to beat us. And we saw, I think we saw their entire bullpen that game.
We saw that game. We saw 4 pitchers. Which game did we see tons? The one they won, we saw 5 pitchers. I swear there was a game that threw 7 pitchers at us. I have the same memory. But we only had 4 pitchers that game.
Okay. It was a previous game then.
Yeah.
They threw all the pitchers at us.
I mean, they have a garbage bullpen, so it's just kind of they throw in whatever they have at us. So
There's actually a team with one worse bullpen than them. You know who that was?
Cincinnati Reds.
Cincinnati Reds. Yes.
The Padres get another off day on Monday, James. They rest up and they fly to, as we talked about the previous episode, they fly in Kentucky and they then drive north to Cincinnati. Is that where Kentucky is? Kentucky's south of Ohio, right?
I don't know, Joe.
Yeah, it is. It is. It took me a second to remember.
I've never
basic
been
U.S. geography. But yes, Ohio is above Kentucky.
Yeah, I know that.
Yeah, wow.
I have been. I've been to Kentucky. I've never been to Ohio.
Yeah. Did you see all the rivers in Ohio? What was your favorite?
I just have never been to Ohio. I've been to Kentucky.
Oh, I misheard that. Well, then you don't have any favorite rivers in Ohio.
No, I don't. I
I always think the Allegheny is in Ohio, but it's not. The Ohio is in Ohio.
This week on Brothers Geography,
James, Tuesday, June 29th, the Padres come into town to face the Cincinnati Reds, James. The big red machine versus the big brown machine. The big brown machine sounds gross, but the San Diego Padres say nay, nay, nay. We win this one again, 5-4 on 5 runs on 12 hits and no errors. Cincinnati Reds are 4 runs on 8 hits upon 2 errors. Pitched back a bullpen game, James. This was a game in which our starter had a tummy ache.
Yeah, Blake Snell. So, do you listen to Gwen and Chris?
I know who they are. I know Tony Gwynn.
So,
yeah.
Right before they flew out to their they left for the road trip, Blake Snell was being interviewed, and Chris asked him, "Hey, have you found any good Mexican restaurants in San Diego?" And Snell said, "No, but I'm willing to take advice." And so Gwen and Chris proceed to give him a list of about 3 or 4 taco shops around the county that he has to try. And he said, "I'm going to try this out tonight." And 2 days later, he was sick to his stomach. Apparently, he was sick the day after, and it just got worse and worse and worse. So Gwen and Chris in the morning, poisoned Blake Snell. And it's not just me. Literally, if you follow them on Twitter, they probably got 1,000 people adding them,
awesome.
sending the clip of like, "You poisoned Snell."
That's awesome. Yep, bullpen game. We had pitched 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different pitchers that game, James.
Greg Stammen got the start. He did a good job. Mm-hmm. This is the game where we left 16 men on base.
A lot of people on base.
A lot of base. We left the bases loaded 3 times, 4 times.
Yep.
So all the men left on base were for bases loaded.
Yep.
And we still won the game, 7-5.
I say 7-5. Or I say it's 5-4. 7-5. 7-5 is next.
Oh, I'm
game.
sorry. I'm looking at the wrong one.
Just jumping ahead. I was like, I don't. Yes, but this game you were right. This game we left everyone on base.
We left everyone on base.
Every single Padres position player had a hit though. That was pretty fun. Mateo,
just not when somebody was on base.
Mateo pinch hit James, and miraculously, the same thing always happens. Nothing happened.
Nothing happened. Yeah.
So I'm starting to feel bad for him. I feel like he's not put in a position to succeed. We need to put him in. If he's meant to be the speedster, then when Eric Hosmer's on base in the 9th inning, just put Mateo. Give him some confidence boost. He hasn't had a hit since in May.
I know.
It's bad.
And it just blows my mind because we do have O'Grady in AAA who at least can get a couple of hits or 2, and he's fast. Not as fast as Mateo, who's the fastest guy in baseball, but it is frustrating to watch him at bat.
I just don't know. I don't think it's fair to him to not consistent at bat because He gets pinch hit for like every other game, and then he's just not in a good position. Whatever. I think he's not. I think we need to find a way to put him in a position to succeed. We're not.
Yeah, but my thing is,
When's the last time he pitched Rand for?
I don't know. But the thing is, we have the most stolen bases in baseball. We're a fast team.
Yeah,
we don't need a speedster on the bench. My thing is with. I'm sure you're a great dude, and I want you to do as well. I want all Padres to do well and have Hall of Fame careers. But Jorge Mateo is in the big leagues, a position that very few people get to be in their lives and want to be. If he wants to stay in the big leagues, he has to learn to succeed in the position they're putting him in.
Yeah.
So I don't feel too bad because that's the position he's in. He needs to do better.
And we won the game. I don't mean to harp on him. It's just something that's like it happened again in the game today, where he was put in a position and there's men on base, and I just like the approach is bad. I don't know. Like I just feel like it's just not helpful. It just feels like the guy needs to be in better position to be like to be a better position to hit, better position, a better approach to play. And he just isn't given opportunities to do that. And it's because he's in these positions where he has men on base, and it's just he's not a patient hitter. He's a very wild swinging kind of guy, and he's not a high contact guy, so he just strikes out a bunch. So I don't know. It's a bummer. Will Smith had a great grab, rob a hit from Castellanos. As something we haven't noticed, what's the remarkable difference?
Will Myers.
I'd say Will Myers. Who did I say?
Will Smith.
I was getting jiggy with it, James.
I was gonna say
I was not talking about the Braves closer nor the Dodgers catcher. I was talking about Will Smith from Men in Black. Heard of it, James?
I have heard of it.
James, the other day
when I think of Will Smith, I think of Bad Boys.
I was made fun of. I was in a big meeting at my work, and I said, "Hey, does this situation remind me of that scene from Men in Black?" And I was told, "We don't reference movies from 1997." And I died a little bit. I died a lot of it, actually.
Because you realized you were the oldest person in the oldest.
It often happens in those meetings, and sad all the time. So we won the game. That's the important part.
So next game, what happened then, Joe?
So I was going to say, there's a remarkable difference in this team versus the previous team, which is the Reds have a very good lineup.
They have probably the best offense the Padres have seen all year.
I think every single hitter has a great approach. I don't think any of them were like weakling approaches. I think maybe obviously the pitchers, and like there's like maybe two at the bottom of the order that are like whatever, but the 1 to 7, 1 to 6 is like these guys all have good approaches.
And if they had the Pirates rotation, they'd be first in their division. They just have the worst pitching staff in baseball, and it shows. They are a. This series and the previous series where we swept them at home, I never felt like we were comfortably beating them.
No,
because they had the capability.
Yeah,
because Castellanos and Winkler are both. First, they're both going to be in the All-Star game. They're respectively Castellanos is leading the league in hitting, and Winkler is second in the league in hitting. Joey Votto has always been a good contact hitter.
Yeah,
they have two catchers on their lineup. Their rookie Stevenson and then Barnhart, both extremely good contact hitters.
Well, yeah, we'll talk about the final game, but I told you like when it came up, like this is not the guy you want to see.
No.
They all are good contact hitters. Like, yeah, but it felt like, in some ways, this was the toughest offense. I thought it was tougher than the Dodgers offense even.
Oh, I agree. They're definitely tougher than the Dodgers.
They brought together such a good bat, and I think even when they were at the games in Petco, I felt the same way. They were just very competitive at bats. And India will give you good at bats. The rookie Lopez. It just was a remarkably different color of a game of a series versus when you come off a Diamondback, because this team is just like it did feel relentless. It's like they will not let up. But next game, James, enough telling the Reds that they're good. Second game of the series, Wednesday, June 30th. This game had a delayed start as the previous game. We did not talk about that. It's very rainy in Cincinnati in June and July. Apparently it rains a lot in that time. I thought it was summer. I thought it was God's day off to give us no more rain, no sunshine. Not in Cincinnati.
I build a roof.
Yeah,
Pitch a tent. Yeah. Play ball. Why are in this modern day era and it's a brand new stadium.
Yeah.
Did nobody remember that it rained there? And it just but this particular game Musgrove did not have it. I do think in Musgrove's defense, the game was delayed an hour and 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So he got warmed up. They said delay, and every time you see it, I've seen it happen so many times where they rain delay and the pitcher comes out. Musgrove either had to stay warm the entire hour, which means he was doing pitching practice when his arm was tired, or his arm was warmed up, but then he cooled it down for an hour and then have to warm it back up again. Either way, it kills your arm.
Padres, I didn't say the final line. 7 runs. Padres had 7 runs. Cincinnati Reds had 5 runs, so we beat them. 7 runs, 7 hits, and no errors. 5 runs and 5 hits and no errors. The Reds on 5 innings, James? What? Why is there 5 innings on this box score?
Because it rains over there. Yeah, it was. Yeah.
So they Reds pick up a 4 spot in the first inning, and it really wasn't anyone's fault. More or less, Musgrove didn't have it.
Didn't have it. He was, and you could tell he was tired.
Yep.
And his it was the first game. He just didn't look sharp, and because he again it. I don't blame this on him at all. It was clearly a bad just situation. And they put up 4 runs, but because the Padres are phenomenal, we won 7-5.
Trent Grisham and Will Myers go back to back. Fernando Tatis Jr. gets a solo shot later in the game, and then in the 5th inning, James, what happened?
Trent Grisham came up with the bases loaded, and Mark Grant read a stat saying, actually it wasn't Mark Grant, it was Mark Sweeney. He was in the booth. Don't do that anymore. I like Mark, but Grant's better. Mark Grant read a stat saying he hasn't had a grand slam his entire career. And Trent Grisham heard that and went, no. You know what? I think tonight I'm going to hit a grand slam. Hits a grand slam. We are now up 7-5. Mm-hmm. And then the bottom of the 5th shows up. Tim Hill comes out and shuts them down. And then the rain came down. And the game was called. And since it has 5 regular innings,
yep,
Musgrove got the win. Tim Hill got the save. And this is one thing I have to say about this particular game. So we had a bullpen game the previous day, and our guys were tired. We needed Musgrove to pitch at least 7 innings to give the guys a break. When he struggled in the first inning, we all went, oh no, because we can't go into another. It's just when you kill the arms and then we don't get a day off until the All-Star break, we were just looking at a bad situation.
Yep.
And I have said since the very beginning of this season that we've started doing this. I believe the Padres, as I called them then, are warrior monks of St. James on a holy quest from God to win the World Series.
Yeah. Yeah.
And what happened? Just when it looked like we were going to use a bunch of pitchers, God was like, you know what? No. Here is some rain. I'm going to grant you...
Not just some rain.
Some rain.
It was a lot of rain.
People died. It was a lot of rain. But I think if you do not believe that God is on our side, watch that game. It's clear.
Yep, got called, thankfully, and Tim Hill got the save. So
Yep.
2 pitchers used. Good day in the big leagues. Shall we move on, James?
Sure.
The final game of our weekly recap, Thursday, July 1st.
It's Bye Bonita Day. We talked about it in the beginning of the podcast.
Yeah,
I gave you a present.
Thursday. Is it called July? Is that short for Julian? Do you know how the Julian calendar is July, like Julian's nickname, like Julius Caesar, Julius Caesar?
Are you trying to cover up so it makes like I have knowledge to cover up my brain is now moment?
My brain is now so far astray, but I have to know this. Okay. So Julius Caesar, Julian calendar we all use, is July we call him Julie and now
Google it. Find out right now because sorry, ladies and gentlemen.
Why
The podcast
is it called July? It's used to be called Quintilis, the Roman word for fifth. That's not at all what I said. What? Okay, well we figured it out. The Reds beat us. We just saw this loss 35 minutes ago. Reds 5, Padres 4. Ryan Weathers got called back up to make the start. To kind of fill in for Blake Snell and the gaps in the rotation. And we faced Luis Castillo for the Reds. And
their only good pitcher.
He was very good. There was also a delay in the middle of this game. Wasn't long enough to kick Castillo out, but it was a game. It was Weathers didn't really. Still doesn't have efficiency, man. Just not. Throws way too many pitches. Draws too many walks. Out
of all of his things he's done so far in his young career, this was probably the toughest game he ever had, like emotionally, because growing up, his dad was a Cincinnati Red.
Right.
I don't know if you know this, but Joey Votto was a rookie.
Yep.
The same year, for the last year. David Weathers was a Cincinnati Red. And Ryan Weathers has a lot of memories as a 9-year-old because Joey Votto, being a rookie, just hung out with he was 18 or something, hung out with all the kids, ball players' kids, so they all knew him. He was the one that played catch with him. So Joey Votto was like a second dad, and he's facing Joey Votto today. And you could tell he was just a little more nervous than he's ever been before.
Yep. Weathers, draws a couple walks. They come around to score in the second. The Padres are just lost at the plate. Castillo, I think a good comp is if Lamet had a much better changeup, that's Castillo. Castillo's a wipeout slider, 100-mile-an-hour fastball, and a changeup that comes out of nowhere. And when he's on, it's just like, good luck. Like, it's just, this stuff has such crazy horizontal movement. You just see it with these guys. It's like, hope I'm guessing the right pitch. I'm hoping, even if I guess it right, like, am I going to know how big of a break it is? He has really good stuff. The manager of the Reds probably kept him in too long because, the Padres get a run in the fifth. Cincinnati gets a run also in the fifth. But in the seventh, bases loaded. Tommy Pham is pitch hits for Webby Rivas, and does the Tommy Pham thing, a lead at bat, gets a full count, gets the pitch he wants against Castillo, ties the game 3-3, and then it looked good in the top of the eighth. Machado's on second after stealing at base, hustling down the line to get a stolen base, 2 outs. Hosmer grounds out. But the rookie Lopez bounces the ball, and Machado scores. It's an easy out. It was gifted to us. And
yes, it was.
It did seem, we talked about this afterwards, it did seem like it was kind of the game it was. It was just like we were both kind of giving each other, because in the bottom ninth, we're up 5-4. Lanson didn't have it. Or the Reds know him pretty well, because the second blown save he's had, both against the Reds.
Yes.
Gives up a home run to Kyle Farmer, who had a great approach. Once again, waited for the pitch he wanted. And then the Lions got the bases loaded with 2 outs, but, he decided to walk Castellanos and get to Stevenson. But Stevenson, he's a good hitter. You don't have to do much in that situation. He's got to get a hit, and they just walked us off. 5-4.
And it's also we probably would have won the game, but Profar goofed error out in the left field.
That would it would have been the second out. There would have been runners in scoring position. Yeah, literally the ball bounced out of the glove. It was very bad.
Yeah, it was
very,
bad.
very bad. It was rough because Trope had a great game. Had 2 doubles this game.
Yeah, it was his first. Like, he's starting to hit again, and it was, yeah. Anyways, but I'm not too upset that we lost to the Reds tonight. Mainly because we're done with the Reds. They're a pesky team. They now have to contend. Now, the Giants and Dodgers have to contend with them. But we won the series 6-1.
Yeah, the season series.
The series. And you'll take a series victory against any team.
Yeah, I mean, you want to be undefeated. You want to be the 700 win percentage team. But these games happen. It definitely felt like, I think I said, before the game, before we started recording this podcast, if the weather delay didn't happen, I think Castillo steamrolls us. He was in such a groove. He was just. I mean, he was a no hitter till the 4th. I mean, and he was a perfect game to the 4th.
I know
he faced the minimum. He got double play, but yeah, it was just he was rolling, and this was going to be the game that was toughest for us to win anyway, and it proved to be the toughest one to win. So we're gonna win, and it stinks because I think the Dodgers won today, and I think the Giants are losing to the Diamondbacks. So let me see. Do they lose to Diamondbacks? Sure did. But can't focus on those things. Got to focus on yourself. And you'll take a series. If you win every single series, you'll do fine.
And this is our 7th series victory in a row. So that's good. And the Dodgers and the Giants haven't been playing as well as we have.
Yeah.
So again, this is
we're still in the playoff picture as of right now.
Yeah, we're not downing the loss. It was just, yeah, you want to win. But it's not a downer like a couple weeks ago when we thought we'd never win again.
You said 5-1, I said 5-1, and 4-2, but in some funny way, we're both right.
Because we lost one of the Reds and one of the Diamondbacks. Yeah.
Maybe we should combine our picks. Maybe this is telling us that we should combine them. Any thoughts about the week, James? Are you encouraged? Are you happy? Are you mad? Are you glad?
Pham continues to be awesome. Grisham is awesome. Tatis, Machado's starting to hit again.
Machado had a great game today.
He had a fantastic game. He had a fantastic series. Myers seems to be getting at least one hit every game. So no, there is. The only thing now is we have to button up our bench players and get our rotation back to normal because of the weird thing because Tony Gwynn Jr. tried to poison Blake Snell.
We will be facing a 7-game set coming up for our next week cap. 3 games at Philadelphia and 4 games at home versus the Washington Nationals, James. Every week we try to determine basically like what next week is. I'm going to tell you what the probable starters are, but it's pretty bare. So I'll tell you when I'm done. Paddock will pitch tomorrow versus Zach Wheeler. Darvish will pitch tomorrow versus no one knows, and then no one knows after that.
Darvish will pitch on Saturday, I mean.
Darvish pitch on Saturday against it has not been a defined starter, but we will face Zach Wheeler, who is very good this year, who sports a 6-4 record, 2.2 earned run average, 130 strikeouts, who averages a .97 walks and hits per inning pitched. So that's going to be a tough game, but the Phillies bullpen is very bad. They have the most blown saves in baseball.
And then we play the Nationals, who
always have good pitching.
Have always had good pitching, and if we just not pitch to Carl Schreiber, we should be fine.
Just don't pitch to Juan Soto and Kyle Schwarber. You're fine.
Yeah, they're yeah.
Try to avoid Trey Turner too. He's having a good year too. Just avoid the 1 to 3.
Yeah, well, yeah, the 1 through 3. Yeah. But we could do that.
What do you think our record will be after the next 7 games?
5-2.
5-2. I like that vibe.
I think if we go against Mad Max, we're not going to win.
Even at home, with the Magic at Petco at full capacity. We have not seen a full capacity Wednesday crowd though, and
that's true. But
pretty
it is. Mad Max is just a nut, and you never know when he might just get extra crazy.
So you're saying we're going to lose 1 to both teams?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Just to the strength of the starters, I think it's probably right. But I'm gonna say 6-1.
Okay.
I think we're not gonna lose to the Phillies. I think that we can do the same thing we did with the Reds. We just wear the starters down and force the bullpen game. And, that ballpark's kind of tiny. Plays big. It plays small, rather. I think that there's a very approachable lineup. There are some heavy hitters. You got Reese and JT and Bruce Hooper. But I think they're approachable. I think we sweep the Phillies, and we lose 1 to the Nationals.
Okay, I like it.
Yeah. James, any parting thoughts, any words of wisdom, any pearls of everlasting youth you want to give us?
Just remember, we give thanks to Bob Bonilla today.
Full circle.
He deserves it. Just go online and look up Bob Bonilla. Just look at photos of him smile. It'll cheer you up. And remember, the man is a super genius. And what would the world be like if he would have dedicated that genius to, say, science instead of baseball? We'd probably be in a better world. But that being said, he did a good job for us. And we celebrate this national holiday.
2010 hits, 287 home runs, 1,084 runs, 1,173 RBIs. A career on-base percentage of 35.358, and a career slugging of .472. That's good numbers.
That's good numbers. Good numbers. But the most important stat, he has 2 teams paying him until he's a very old man because they didn't know how to write a contract.
James, we're on Spotify. We're on YouTube. Please subscribe. Like us. Let us know how you like that podcast. Give us some feedback.
How did you celebrate Bob Bonilla Day?
Normally, I read more. I
was asking for feedback. I don't really care. I know what you did.
I was going to give an example, a template of what to say.
Okay.
Like, I celebrate Bob Bonilla Day. I usually go to the market. I get myself a ham, and then I put the words $1 million into it. And it's like my own Bobby Bonilla Day.
Okay.
But until next week, go Padres.
Go Padres.
And there it is! Oh, doctor! You can hang a star on that, baby!